no. Okay, here we go. Tea time. Welcome back to another crazy
true story animation,
where today I'll be reacting to a stranger decided to marry me while I was in a coma. How can this even happen? Aren't the doctors meant to keep an eye on you? Aren't the receptionists of the hospital meant to keep a track on who's visiting? I honestly do wonder sometimes if these stories are even real.
How do you know someone didn't just make it up?
What? You mean just lie? You really think someone would do that? Just go on the internet and tell lies?
Anyway guys, before this video starts, remember to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Apparently 69% of my viewers are not subscribed.
Why would you do that?
Come and join the Yam fam. That's what I'm calling you guys from now. And I'm trying to hit 3 million subscribers by my birthday, so if you could do that, it would really help me out. Let's watch this crazy story. Headset on.
I woke up with a terrible headache. I opened my eyes to see that I was lying down. I raised my hand to cover my eyes from the strong light that was coming from the window.
That must be terrifying. Especially seeing the hospital band around your arm. You know something's gone wrong.
And I noticed a long thin tube attached to my hand. Wait, am I in the hospital? I looked around. I was lying in bed wearing a hospital gown, but no one was in the room. I checked my body. There was no sign of injuries or broken limbs. I was not feeling any pain. How did I end up here?
That must be so scary. Waking up in a hospital bed and nobody else is around? I definitely think this would be like the beginning of The Walking Dead, if that was me anyway.
I turned around and noticed the red button next to my bed. It had a little sign next to it that said, "Press in case of an emergency." And so I did. A nurse came rushing in. When she saw me, she freaked out and started calling the doctors. "Oh my God, Mr. Jeff, you finally woke up! That's a miracle!" Then 2 doctors came in and checked me. They started asking me stupid questions like how my name is spelled or what the sum of 1 + 1 is. And then they started asking personal questions about different things in my life, and I answered them suspiciously. "You seem perfectly fine. We're just gonna run a few tests and see the results. Then you should be able to go home."
Has he not thought to ask at this point why he's in the hospital? That would be the first thing I would ask.
And then they started asking personal questions about different things in my life, and I answered them suspiciously. "You seem perfectly fine. We're just gonna run a few tests and see the results. Then you should be able to go home. Wow, your family is gonna be happy to see you awake." I was confused. Everything was happening all at once. The doctor noticed I was struggling to understand, so he explained that I had an accident, and I hit my head really hard and broke my leg.
Ew, did this guy also break his skull? His skull literally breaks. That is kind of gross. Like, really gross. I hope he's okay now.
I was rushed to the hospital. The doctors treated me well, but I wouldn't wake up. I was in a coma for a year.
Excuse me? What, a year? That is a long time to be in a coma. I could not imagine waking up in the year 2021 with no recollection of what happened. So many things have changed. So many new iPhones have been released.
A whole year. I stared at the doctor's face. Was he joking? It turned out he was not. The doctor explained, when someone falls into a coma, they become unconscious. Nothing could wake them up. They wake up when they're ready.
I'm really confused at what is going on in these 2 images. The first one, his soul has left his body. Is that what happens when you go into a coma? And in the second one, the guy was just rocking his head back and forwards like a crazy person.
My family came rushing in an hour later. Mom, Dad, and my twin sisters. They were excited to see me.
Okay, so he said mom, dad, and his twin sisters? There's only one. I'm confused. There's just one twin sister there.
Mom, Dad, and my twin sisters.
Sisters, but there's only one. What do you mean? Unless they're both inside of the same body.
They were excited to see me. Mom was crying and Dad was emotional for the first time in his life. Then, a nice-looking woman called Amelia came in. She said hi to everyone and kissed Mom. Then she came, she kissed me on the cheek, and she gave me a 1-minute hug, then said, "Oh my God, I'm so happy you're back." I looked at her feeling confused. "Excuse me, do I know you?" They all started laughing, and then Mom said, "Oh, the doctors warned us there would be some memory loss because of the head injury." Then she looked at me like she was feeling sorry for me and said, "She's your fiancée. She's the one who saved your life."
Ooh, so my thinking is that they were engaged previous to this accident and he's just forgotten. There's no way she's an actual stranger, right?
"Don't feel bad, honey. You'll remember everything in time." But I responded, "No, she's not. I don't remember being engaged to anyone.
He is absolutely terrifying. I know he's just woken up from a coma, so that's probably an excuse, but he is scaring me.
But Mom said, "Look at your finger, sweetheart. The ring is there. Amelia has one too." I didn't know what to respond. My mom said it as if it was a fact. I looked at my hand and there it was. And then I looked at Amelia. She didn't say anything. She just smiled. The whole thing felt so strange. How could I remember everything about my life before the accident, but not Amelia?
That isn't the only thing that's strange. They are literally bobbing up and down right now like psychopaths. What is happening? I would be scared of this.
3 days later, I was discharged from the hospital, and they took me straight to my parents' house. They put me in a wheelchair because it would take some time to train my legs to walk again. Everyone was happy to see me, and Mom prepared a nice dinner for us all.
I've never seen a water machine like that in a house. I thought they were only in offices. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm English, so we just drink from our taps anyway.
Amelia was used to being at my parents' house, joking with Dad, helping Mom, and talking to my sisters. She pushed the wheelchair, set the dinner table, and sat next to me.
Alright, he said it again. Talking with my sisters. But there's only one. Where is the other sister? I swear he's gone insane. A year in a coma can do a lot to a man.
Every time I would ask for something at the table, she would put it beside me. And I didn't like it. My parents were updating me about things that happened when I was unconscious, when I screamed in panic. "Oh, what about Twix, my dog? Did anyone take care of her?" "Yeah, I did," Amelia said. "I brought her to my apartment after we were told that your coma might take a while." I looked at her feeling pissed. Am I the only one who finds her annoying? She seems to meddle in everything.
Oh, that is so mean. She's just trying to help you out. She was looking after your dog. But I get it. He's confused.
Who is this woman? And why don't I feel anything towards her? I stayed at my parents' house because it was near the hospital, and I needed to attend my physiotherapy sessions. And of course, Amelia escorted me most of the time. I wanted to talk to her in private and get to know how we met. There was never a good time for that. We were always surrounded by people. My family would not leave us alone, and my friends and coworkers visited me at the house to check up on me. But one night, I decided to call Tom, my best friend. He was in China for a business trip.
Tom is about to spill the tea on their relationship. What if it turns out that she is a stranger and he never knew her at all? Or what if it turns out that, he just lost his memory?
I FaceTimed with my new phone because the old one got destroyed in the accident. I asked him about Amelia and if I mentioned her to him. And he said, "Yes, you said you were dating a lovely girl and you were excited to have her in your life. Congrats, buddy. I didn't know that you proposed already." I hung up the phone feeling more confused. It seemed that the universe was playing a sick joke on me where I was not able to remember my fiancée. Eventually, I had to give in. I started treating Amelia nicely and accepting the fact that I did propose to her. I'm gonna give her a chance. Maybe I'll fall in love with her.
She seems like a nice girl. That's probably the best thing to do. Give her a chance. See if she's a secret psychopath.
I started treating Amelia nicely and accepting the fact that I did propose to her. I'm gonna give her a chance. Maybe I'll fall in love with her. My family kinda likes her already, and they get along with her just fine. And so I did. I did my best to shush that awkward feeling about her and start focusing on her positive attributes. 2 months later, I was able to walk again.
Why have they both bought the same groceries? That is strange.
I went back to my apartment. Amelia helped me get some of the things back. It was exactly how I left it. And there was even a picture of me and Amelia on the shelf.
So she's not a stranger. You knew her before, right? It's just a shame he's forgotten.
I sat on the sofa and asked Amelia, "Honey, could you bring me a pillow from my bedroom?" And she said, "Sure." But then, instead of going to the bedroom, she went to the bathroom. I laughed and told her, "It seems you don't remember the way to the bedroom. It's on the left." She laughed awkwardly and said, "Yeah, I haven't been here in a while. Sure, if I was in a coma all this time, she definitely wouldn't have the time to spend it here."
He looks so dead there. Why is that in like a different style of drawing too? It's so creepy.
But what happened next made me question her again. Amelia was always busy. Every time I suggested we spend time together, she would give me an excuse for why she can't. She worked as a cafe manager, and she would always say she couldn't leave the cafe because there was too much work, and she can't leave it for the other workers, which seemed implausible, because I know she can control her own hours. Then, when my dad suggested going on a family trip to our beach house, she was the first to say yes. "I could make that work. I could hire an employee for when we are gone," she said. "Wait, what?" I looked at her and said, "I've been trying to go out on a dinner with you for 2 weeks now. and you said you couldn't because you were preoccupied with work.
But surely there's a logical explanation for this. Maybe she can book off time in advance, but she can't book off time if you ask her to go out for a meal tonight, per se.
What happened now? She blushed and said, the worker that I count on the most got back from his trip 2 days ago, so I'm free now. I didn't say anything, and she went to the beach house. She was happy to be with the family. On the first day, I asked her to go on a long walk with me just before sunset. The view was magical, and I thought that was the perfect time to kiss her, because I haven't tried that since I woke up from my coma. She only kissed me on the cheek and forehead, but I thought she was ready to do that. I leaned over to kiss her, and the kiss was good. It was not great or mesmerizing, just good. A bit disappointing, actually.
Oh, imagine saying a kiss from your fiance is disappointing. Wow. I feel so bad for her right now. I feel like it's him that has the problem.
And so I decided to break up with her.
Excuse me? He broke up with her because the kiss was disappointing. I am shook.
That's it. I couldn't do it anymore. As soon as we got back to the city, I was going to break up with her. But then 2 days after I got to my apartment, my friends and coworkers arranged a party for me. They wanted to celebrate my engagement and welcome my coming back to work at the same time. It seemed inappropriate to announce my breakup at that time. So at the night of the party, I went to pick Amelia up, and wow, she looked amazing in her black dress.
Is he deciding to stay with her now because she looks good in a dress? Boy, make up your mind.
I felt that I was falling for her and that I really liked her. When I got there, I started introducing her to my friends. She didn't seem to know anyone there. And then while I was talking to my boss, a very beautiful lady came next to me and said, I thought you disappeared. I looked at her and said, I'm sorry, but how do I know you? She smiled and said, yeah, I'm Kristen. We were supposed to go on our first date right before you had the accident. I waited, but you never called.
Wait, what? Okay, this is where the story is getting juicy.
So I assumed you were not interested. I stared at her for a few moments, and my brain was going in circles. Kristen, Amelia, the accident, the engagement. There's a link between them all, but I can't get my hands on it. I apologized to Kristen, and I went straight to ask Amelia about how exactly we met. Something was not right.
I want to find out what this something is. Ooh, it sounds good. So many questions need to be answered.
She was standing on the balcony outside. When I came close, I heard her saying, I can't do this anymore. I thought it would be easy, but it wasn't. I think I'm going to tell him tonight.
Ooh, okay. We are about to listen to some drama.
Wait, who was she talking to? I took 3 steps back and then stood next to the door. And then I heard her speak one more time. Simon, this is getting out of hand. He's not buying it. He's noticing all the wrong things I'm doing. Maybe I'm not a good actor. Simon, was she talking to my dad?
Oh my gosh, the plot thickens. Has her dad set up a fake fiance while he was in a coma? I don't know what reason he would do that, but I'm interested.
Something was messed up indeed, but I didn't expect that my dad had something to do with it. Then she said, I'll talk to you later, when we get back home. She hung up and stood there for a minute to calm down. My initial thought was to yell at her and make her explain everything to me. But after a second thought, I decided not to. If there was something going on, I needed to know it all by myself, because she would most likely lie to my face and twist the truth. So I took a deep breath and went out there, saying, Oh honey, I missed you. What are you doing here? Amelia just smiled awkwardly and came in with me. I introduced her to more friends as if nothing happened. That night, Amelia spent the night at my house. While she was sleeping, I took her phone and opened it by pressing one of her fingers on the lock screen. I knew she couldn't wake up because she drank too much that night. She was nervous, and I kept giving her drinks. And when I opened her phone, I read something that shocked the hell out of me. Dad was having an affair with Amelia.
Okay, that was not what I expected. I don't know what I expected, but it wasn't this.
They had tons of pictures together, sleeping in different hotel rooms and even in our beach house. What the hell? But in a strange way, it all clicked. When I had the accident, Dad saw Amelia. He liked her and started seeing her. Then they faked the whole engagement thing so Dad could cheat on Mom whenever he wanted to. I mean, she would be my wife, so no one would suspect anything if they saw them together. And when I asked Tom about her, he confirmed it to me because he thought I was talking about Kristen, not Amelia. Oh, how sneaky of them. I thought I was going crazy for not remembering her. It turns out I was only a fool. I then scrolled down the messages between her and my dad. And there, I found the answer.
I'm really confused at how the mum let this happen though. Like, I understand the dad set this up, but wasn't the mum like, who is this girl and why is she suddenly getting engaged to my son who's in a coma? I mean, that family's weird anyway. He calls his sister sisters. There's only one of them.
Dad had promised her $2 million if she marries me and stays with him. He told her that she was the love of his life. Ugh. I was furious to think my dad would manipulate me and use me as a puppet to satisfy his own pleasure. I felt like a complete idiot. And $2 million? I didn't know my dad had that much money.
Maybe he doesn't. Maybe it was just a lie.
Where was he hiding all of this? I sat there speechless, trying to soak it all in. But I couldn't sit still. Mom doesn't deserve this, and Amelia cannot take Dad's money if he had any. It should be ours, his children. So I made a copy of the messages and sent them to my mom.
Oh no. Okay, here we go. Tea time.
She needs to know the truth. In the morning when Amelia woke up, I told her that everything was over between us. She looked confused and even said, "We just celebrated our engagement." She totally believed her lie, as if we were a normal couple who loved each other. But I just refused to listen and kicked her out of the house. Then, an hour later, I got a call from Mom. I went to our house. She and Dad were fighting.
You can tell there's a fight going on when the house is literally shaking.
"I want a divorce now," she screamed. And Dad looked at me. He knew I was the one to do this. He yelled at me saying, "If only you could keep your mouth shut." I yelled back, "Are you screaming at me? You should keep your zipper shut." Dad was furious, but he said nothing and left the room. My parents got divorced 2 months later. But the surprise was that the money my dad wanted to give Amelia was Mom's in the first place. Mom came from a rich family that I knew nothing about. She wrote everything in my name in a will so no one can ever get it but me. And now I'm dating Kristen, my first true crush.
Wow, that was actually an ending that I wasn't expecting. I thought it was either an actual stranger who'd just come in like a crazy person and decided to get engaged to him, or that he simply forgot who she was. My mind has been blown. Anyway guys, if you did enjoy this video and you want to watch another, click here and let's go watch it together.